Well, I'm sorry to shock you with my face, but I've had a few comments. People saying, oh, why didn't you do this before you start the video? Then, you know, it would look more professional. Why don't you do this nut? And why don't you do this? And why don't you do that? That's not what this is about. That's not the videos I make. And if that's the videos you want, go somewhere else. That's not the ones I make. My videos are me doing it. I'll make mistakes. I'll show you those mistakes. I don't care. I'm not after an Oscar here, or even a Susan or a Charlie or whatever. I'm not one of these egotistical assholes that needs recognition. But please, please, please recognize me. No. Subscribe. No, I never said that. It doesn't matter whether you do or don't. I do these videos for my own enjoyment. It's fun to do them. Maybe you have fun watching them and realise that it doesn't matter. You know, hey look, there's this guy out here, he does this, he makes a fool of himself. He says things and then he changes his mind later when he realises he's screwed up. That's me. I am that way. WYSIWYG. It's called WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. Other computer terminology. GIGO. Garbage in, garbage out. Yes, I came through the IT field. So there are all these wonderful expressions I could throw at you. But what's the point? Because it's fun to do. Alright, now on to the rest of this wonderful video that I know you can't wait to see regarding my Mark II engine rebuild. And if you really don't like this, tough. Right, moving ahead now with the generator rebuild. I have hooked, what do you want to call them? Picks underneath the brush and underneath the wire. This holds the carbon brush away from the commutator. Now obviously if I put the device together the other way around, I could take this off here, but there it is pressed on, so I don't want to take that apart, but also I want to be able to get the brushes onto the commutator. So that's what I've done and taped it, as you can see. Let me just try and make it a little more visible for you. So this is the setup I have. Now when I put the case on, okay, that's going to cut. I've got to take that one back a little bit more because it's going to interfere with the case, but I'll do it the same as this one. Then when I put the case on to the back here, I'll be able to get it in and then pull this out, or actually take the tape off and then pull these out, and the brushes will then spring back to the commutator. So let's see how that goes. Are you ready for some fun? Alright, in order to accommodate me getting the cover on, I had to move these back a lot further and then retape them. And as you can see, there is a gap here between the brush and the commutator, and the same there. So now I can separate this by taking these screws out, sliding the cover over, and then putting that piece on, all in one go. Yeah, let's see how it goes. Alright, let's take these screws out first of all. Hopefully you're seeing this. Kind of a weird angle for you, I know, but as always, it's more important I see than you do. I see than you do. Could that be a title of a song? I see and you do. Sounds like a disease. I see and you do. Oh, what you got? Coronavirus? No, I got I see and you do. Okay, here we go. And it doesn't matter what size screwdriver you use here, because it's not like things are tight. Okay, now let's pull this away from here. Now what we have to do is, everything's so damn heavy, slip this in here, and there are notches. I don't think I've ever shown you these. See, there's a pin there and there's a groove there, so this way you can't line it up wrong, or at least you shouldn't be able to unless you're really stupid. So spin it round so you can see it, and there it is. Look at that. Alright, now balancing this here, he says, ha ha, I get the other end. And again, pin, groove. Make sure they're all back and out of the way. And also you've got the terminal, of course, to go through. So, let me get that on there. Now this is going to be fiddly. It ain't going to be a 2-second job. No, I don't want to force this. Oops. My terminal is a little bit off there. Everything has to fit together nicely. There you go, terminal there. Pin, are you lined up yet? Pretty darn close. Yep, I think we're pretty much, way, gosh, I nearly dropped it. We're nearly ready there. Alright, let's get those lovely long screws. Oh, there's nothing like a lovely long screw. These days, any kind of screw would be nice. Did I say that out loud again? Golly gosh, aren't I the one? And where have you heard me say that before? Ooh. Come on, baby. Come on. That missed. That is not biting on anything. That is nowhere near. There's a hole. Got to find the hole. Right. Let me see if I can get this one to start. Yeah, this one's starting, I believe. And again, I also believe in the Tooth Fairy and Father Christmas. Check the other end. Missed. Come on. You gotta get these in the hole. There we go. Oh, great, I knocked my drink over. Oh well, never mind. There are more important things. Yeah, like what? Huh? Okay, that one's caught now, that's good. Alright, you guys owe me a drink now. Please feel free to send me any form of alcohol. I promise to try it. Oh, there she goes. Drip, drip, drip. Ooh, I like them when they go drip, drip, drip. No, come on. You should. Just decided to knock it over even further. Alright, now, in this end, this is all you do. You've just got to line it up with a hole. There we go. Get it in the hole. Oh, it's so good when you get it in the hole. There we go. As Queen would say, innuendo. Okay, I'm just going to pinch these up gently. Just like a gentle pinch. Ooh, baby, give me a gentle pinch. Okay, I just want to make sure my pins are lined on there and there. Alright, so now I can take this tape off of here. There we go. This tape can now come off. These can now be pulled out. And with any luck, and we have to check this, the brushes are now touching das commutator. Let me see if I can show you by shining a light in there. There, does that help you? See that? It's touching there, and yes, it's touching there. Alright, now what I need to do is tighten those screws up and put these components on. Alright, let me get those screws tight first and pour myself another drink. Okay, first thing I need to do here is insert or reinsert the Woodruff key. Make sure you have this spacer pushed back before you do that. Now, of course, you may not have taken the Woodruff key out in the first place, but I had. There we go. Now, next is to put the fan on, and now that the Woodruff key is on there, you have to make sure you get it on with the slot. Get it on the slot. Geschlotten. Why do I keep dropping into German? I don't know, probably because I lived there for a while. Next is to get the pulley on, and one more time align. Okay, I'm going to need to get a persuader on that, but I don't want to use a metal one because I don't want to damage my powder coating. So let's see if I can get it on with this. Just need to... Good, I've got it on far enough now that I can get the nut on. Oh, I can't do it with the spring washer. Damn, let's see if I can put it on a little further. Woo! Being very careful here because I'm just trying to make sure okay, something has gone wrong here. Because the pulley is now spinning. Sorry, not the pulley, the fan. Oh, yes, okay, alright. Alright, let's just progress a second. Ah, there it goes, pop. Heard it pop on there, didn't you? As opposed to Popov, the Greek Popov. Now, let's see, we tighten up your nuts. Now this is going to be interesting because I'm hoping when I tighten this nut up, even though this is now kind of spinning freely, that when I tighten this nut up, it'll pinch it against that spacer that's behind there. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's what it does. But let's get the correct socket for that. Of course, it's going to be a good English one, and I'm gonna guess, ooh, it's going to be that one or that one. I don't know which. In all honesty, no honesty. So, what are we going to gamble on? We're going to gamble on 5/8, or we're going to gamble on 11/16. I'm going to say 11/16. I won. That's it, I won. Ha ha. Did you win too, children? Yeah, this is going to be the issue here. Holding this bugger still. Oh, he says, oh, I got it. I'll tell you what though, I'm going to put this on the car. Well, not on the car, on the engine. Excuse me. And I'm going to put the belt on. And I'm going to tension it over. In fact, I'm going to over tension it as best I can, and then see if I can tighten that nut up any more.
but as you can see now that the pulley has pinched this blade fan up against the spacer that is in the back there. So you need to make sure that that happens. So there she is, she's looking good. We have the bracket here, the bracketeer. Damn, that bracketeer fellow again. And in here, everything in Ziplocs. Ziploc, zooey zooey zum zum. Oh dear. What a clumsy elf. Jeez. Why is it when you get old, everything is so far away? What have we got here? Some nuts and bolts that don't look very good to me. I think I'm going to be taking me a trip to my local Ace Hardware and getting some nice nuts and bolts, if I don't already have them in the collection of nuts and bolts that I have gained. Look at this lot. You know, I go down and I want 10 of something, so I buy 12. Oh God, I'm crazy. These are all stainless steel. In that bag there, you're probably looking at about $100 worth of stainless steel nuts and bolts. All right. Oh, and one little side note, which is on a personal note. Today is May the 2nd, 2020. Had my father still been alive, today he would have been 100 years old. So all of you watching this, please raise a glass and drink to my dad, Gordon Aubrey Starr Mees. He was my hero, and I don't know if he ever realised that. But here's the dad. There you go, buddy. Right, and it's ironic that I'm working on the Mark II, because that was the car he used to run around in when he was a policeman back in the 60s. So it's kind of good that I'm working on it. Dynamo, generator, cylinder head. These are today's projects. Alright, just a couple of minor things I'd like to bring to your attention. The threads I always like to clear, as you have heard me mention many times. Just to let you know, this one on the generator, this is a 5/16 18 pitch, and I'm glad I did it on this one because this was really tough. So don't forget to either run the bolt through there, or if you're lucky like me and you have a thread clearer, do that. The next thing I want to show you, and excuse me 1 second, this one, is I have discovered that I don't need these 3 mounting points. They're for use on an E-type, and I was having a discussion with my brother Trevor, and trying to figure out exactly where my adjusting bracket for my generator goes, and it turns out that on the E-type, this is where the generator is mounted, whereas on the Mark II, this is where it's mounted. So, that being said, these need to be painted. So what, you may say? Well, I've got to touch them up. Now, with my Pour 15, which is brilliant paint, it will bond itself to pretty much anything. And if you've got it in a metal can, it's a nightmare to get the lid off. What I do is I put it in a glass jar, one of the good old pickle jars, and I use saran wrap. And then, look at that. It undoes so easily, and then you just peel off the saran wrap, and there is your paint perfectly preserved. And they do say that you should put this paint into another container when you're using it, and obviously this is the reason they want you to do it. I've only got this little bit of touch up to do, so I'm not going to pour paint out of here just to touch up 3 little holes. And all I'm going to do is just give them a quick, oh, what was that word? Dooby 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 dap dip dap dap. Dooby 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 doop doop doo. Yes, I'm a lunatic. Doo doo doo. Oh, and there's a little bit on the front there. Let me just do that. I'm sorry if you're not seeing this, guys, but I couldn't let that piece of bare metal not have some paint on it. All right, we are looking good. Oh, no, we just need to go over them again. See, sometimes you just need to wait a moment and see how it is. And I may need to go to those again, but I don't think so. All right, there we go. Everything here is good. We're looking good. Once I see where the distributor fits, then I'll be able to know what area of this I can paint. And the only reason I'm doing it is I just don't want it to go rusty. But hell, I live in Arizona, it ain't going rusty. Alright, back to the generator mounting. Alright, just another little tip you may or may not be interested in. This bolt is longer than I need it to be by roughly 1/4 of an inch, so I need to trim it off. I've put the nut on there to show you it will clean the thread once I've finished. Now let's take the 1/4 inch off, and do note I am actually wearing eye protection. Now when you, yeah, of course it's hot. However, so you can see there the thread is not perfectly clear yet. When I wind this and it gets a little tight and it cleans off the thread, and now when I go to put the nut back on, look at that, it goes back on perfectly okay. So just a little tip for you: when you're cutting a bolt, put the nut on first, cut it, and then wind it off, and it cleans up the thread. Right, time to start putting this beastie on. And as you can see, it just slips on the outside there. So, armed with my bolt in hand, slip it on, slip that bolt through, and same on the other side here. Alright, now I like to use these are locking nuts, and once they bite on they don't let go. Well, at least not until you really need them to, and then you unwind them. So this is what I'm doing here. Oops, let's start with this one. Let's get this one on first. Okay, now this one here. Be nice if I could get the angle right. There she goes. Alright, so now just leave them loose, because the alternator, now I have the bracket to fit on here, and I believe it goes on this top bolt here of the water pump. Let me check on that, and then it attaches here. And oh, I do need to find the bolt for that, but that's where it'll go roughly, and it's looking roughly in line. Roughly. Everything's looking rough. What's the matter with you, you retard? Before I put the belt on, I will actually be giving this a test, and I will show you that test live. Well, live-ish, in a minute. Alright, just had to show you this. This is the generator in position. No, it's an imposition. No, it's not an imposition, it's in position. And nice new belt on it. The angle is slightly off to me, but only slightly. So I'll have to see what I can do about that. I'm not going to worry about it because it really is minuscule. I'm going to pump some oil into here because I meant to do it before I put it on there and I forgot, but I do have a special oil can. Let me show you. Oil can, Rylang. It's German, it works this way up, of course, like a normal oil can, but it also works this way up. Now I'm going to pump it in here. It's going to pour out, but I'm not worried about that. I just want to make sure I get some oil in there and soak that bearing that's in there. So that'll be good. Alright, so that's that done. The little dribble I'm not worried about. Let's see, what is my next phase on this? Not sure. Oh, just another little note to you. There were spacers here. And also, I had to put the bar this way around. All honesty, I'm not sure if that's right. I can't remember. But when I put it the other way around, of course, the length of the bar protruded into the fan. So I can only assume that is correct. And do note, this thread on this end is a coarse thread, whereas everything else is fine. But of course, this is because it's going into aluminum. And when you go into aluminum, it's always a coarse thread. Whereas these bolts that go through here, they go all the way through into the cast iron, and that is a fine thread. Just in case you weren't aware of that. These are straight through bolts, there's no thread, but these ones here are coarse. So just a little technical note for you. Alright, in my mind, my baby's looking good. Oh, I've got a bit of movement. Have I got movement there? No. What's making that movement noise? Oh, well, it's because the guy that installed this didn't do up the two bolts at the bottom. Duh! So I'm going to do them up now. Yeah, here they are. I haven't even done them up. See, always good to double check everything. Alright, let me get my wenches, my good old wench on that, and we'll be done with this video. Next we will continue with the cylinder head.